When Die Another Day was made, nobody knew it would be Pierce Brosnan's last appearance as James Bond. But it was the 40th anniversary of Dr. No, and both the Broccoli producers and Lindy Hemming, the clothing designer, wanted to honour James Bond, and Sean Connery in particular. I think this was great for the costume development, but not so good for the movie. I think its main flaws is it tries too hard to honour too many of past tropes from Bond movies. I'm not a movie reviewer, but I think that's worth mentioning, particularly as we go through the locations where Pierce Brosnan is going to wear a lot of different clothing, and that's for our advantage. It's also the second last movie in which Brioni will be the tailor. Casino Royale also keeps Lindy Hemming and Brioni as the tailor, but unfortunately Brioni made a huge error, and after that movie they switched over to Tom Ford, which in my opinion was a bit of a disaster, but there were a couple of reasons for that. One of them was that Brioni decided to release a special James Bond tux, and as tasteful as Brioni's clothes are, it was quite tacky, including 007 throughout the lining on the inside. Their error, or their gaffe, was that they did not check this with the Broccolis and get permission, and they tried to sell the suit online. It angered the Broccolis, and they wouldn't work with Brioni anymore. But Daniel Craig came to the rescue with one of his favourite tailors, Tom Ford. I don't know if rescue is the right word there. And if you want to see my previous coverage of the Brioni label, then please see this playlist here. Hi, I'm Michael, and welcome to my channel for the love of suits. If you're new here, we try to find inspiration on how to dress well from the best dressed men on the screen. We drop a new video every Wednesday and shorts throughout the week. And it's been rumoured that the main reason for the change from Pierce Brosnan to Daniel Craig was brought on by Mike Myers. Yes, that Mike Myers, the Austin Powers movie, the third movie of which was released at the same year as this movie, and they were getting a little bit uncomfortable with the closeness of the movie, so they decided to move away from the gadgets and the gags and towards a grittier Bond with Daniel Craig. This is definitely Pierce Brosnan's worst Bond movie. This may also be one of the worst Bond movies ever made. There are terrible special effects. It's the early days of CGI and they do not look good and have not aged well. But I do think the homages to many previous Bond movies is what led to the disastrous storyline as it meandered all over the place. But it does have Halle Berry looking so amazing, you might just forgive her for Catwoman. But enough of that, let's get into the clothing. So Bond arrives in Cuba. It's not Jamaica, but I know there is a clear nod to Dr. No here. So we see Bond entering the scene in a blue Aloha shirt, commonly called a Hawaiian shirt. This one is custom made by Brioni for the movie, and it's quite a low-key one with a flower pattern on it, and it's quite nice. I'm not sure about the white vest underneath. I think Pierce Brosnan can get away with it, but it's not the best look. Then again, when it's that hot, you have to wear whatever works for you. The shirt is unbuttoned quite a lot. Perhaps they just wanted to keep Pierce Brosnan's hairy chest a little under control. Also, he has a pair of navy chinos underneath, which goes with it perfectly. It probably feels as good as it looks. Light and refreshing, and it's a good way to dress in that kind of heat if you're going to be outdoors all day. So we've seen Pierce Brosnan and other Bonds in a light tan linen suit before. It is an excellent choice for hot weather. The shirt is an interesting blue linen shirt with a red stripe on it. It's an open collar shirt and he has it turned out over the jacket. They're standard for the hot weather, but you certainly can't get away with that everywhere with the suit. If you're enjoying this video so far, then please hit that like button. And better yet, subscribe and hit the notifications bell. It really helps the channel and I really appreciate it. Also check out our comments section. We have a great community there. And in this later Castro-esque scene, he's wearing a white linen shirt with an open collar. White is an excellent choice for the hot weather. It's not actually scientifically proven that white reflects more sunlight than black, but it is a refreshing colour to wear in the heat, and goes perfectly with the cigar. So finally, we're out of the heat, and Bond is flying back to London, and he's wearing a classic bird's eye blue suit. Bird's eye pattern is named because so shaped, it's a very small pattern. You can really only see it close up. It lends a lot of texture to the fabric, and it makes for an excellent suit. At this point, I'll also note, in the previous Bond movies, he wore a lot of three-piece suits. He only wears two-piece suits in this movie. He has on a white shirt and an excellent pattern tie to match. And at this point, we're introduced to the Bond villain, Graves. I don't know why they chose Rick Mayall to be the baddie. It's very unconvincing, and I feel like laughing every time I see him lift his lip like that. It's kind of weird. Didn't work for me. Movies like this often fail on the villain. But Graves has a very nice wardrobe. He's wearing a charcoal grey suit with a blue shirt and a dark red tie. The suit is by Gucci. They decided to dress Graves appropriately as he's supposed to be a multi-billionaire. And over his suit, Bond throws a Brioni dark blue peak lapel double-breasted cashmere overcoat just past his knees. Beautiful overcoat, very expensive. I must admit, every time I see Bond without a jacket on, I think he's wearing braces until he stands up and I realise it's a gun holster. And I'll pass right over Madonna here. I do think it's an all-time low for the Bond franchise. I wish they had passed over her too. And in this scene we have two beauties to look at. A grey worsted wool pinstripe suit from Brioni, absolutely beautiful, while Bond looks at, thankfully, the Aston Martin reintroduced to the franchise. Pierce Brosnan tends to wear blue shirts more than the previous Bonds. Blue goes very well with grey, and blue suits any kind of reddish skin. It's an excellent choice, and it's a good companion for a white shirt. If you're dressing for business, blue and white are excellent companions and will go well with most suits. And John Cleese has a classic look here. He has on grey trousers, navy sports coat, and a cardigan underneath rather than a vest to keep him warm. And how tall is John Cleese? Pierce Brosnan is 6'2", and he towers over him. And here we are back in some familiar territory for Bond, snow and ice. And Pierce Brosnan is prepared for the cold here with an excellent triple layer. A light turtleneck sweater, a heavy zip-up cardigan, and then that jacket on the outside. That is the way to layer up. The lightest layer on the inside to the thickest layer on the outside. And in all navy in this case, it looks very well together. The monochrome look helps, particularly in this kind of setting. But even the snow and ice won't stop Bond from putting on black tie. This is from Brioni as well, of course, and it's a midnight blue colour, which is the classic black tie look and a favourite of Bond's. He has on a tasteful shirt and bow tie. And I don't think I need to tell you which Bond movie is referenced with this laser scene. And perhaps still feeling a little chilly on his return to London, he's wearing a different navy single-breasted overcoat with a grey scarf. And underneath the coat he has on a very nice worsted wool suit from Brioni again, a white shirt and a dark blue tie. My research says this is actually a charcoal grey worsted wool suit, but it looks blue in the movie. So Die Another Day features more Brioni suits than any other Bond movie. I'm not sure what that means on screen, because some of the suits had 30 copies made for the movie. And that was the last of Pierce Brosnan. In switching to Daniel Craig, they held on to two curiosities. Thankfully Brioni, which is a great tailor, but secondly they also held on to Judi Dench's M, which I always found quite peculiar. It's like she never recognised that she knew him already. She's a great actress and I enjoy her performance, but I found that a little puzzling. They really should have started completely from scratch. So this is your last chance to give your opinion on Brioni as a tailor and stylish Bond. Is Pierce Brosnan the most stylish Bond? What do you think? Let me know in the comments as usual. And thank you very much for watching to the end. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next week with a new video.